You better bring it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bring It On. For today, I got something pretty interesting.
Flame-a-thon.
And so for today specifically, we're bringing heat into the equation. So if you're following the 2024 Olympics, this is gonna be a little bit inspired by that, specifically, let's say in track and field. Something I wasn't ever gifted with was running. And I know there's different distances, but I will say that when it comes to eating food, I don't mind going quick, long, I'm willing to take on whatever. So this little custom creation is gonna be a little bit different. It's actually not gonna be in one sitting, it's gonna go across a few different days. Taking on a lot of these flaming hot products. What's it gonna feel like on the toilet the next day? What am I gonna experience in my stomach? Well, we'll talk about that after each one is done. Maybe give you some precautions to, worry about, or some things that, if you have concerns. Now, if you have any other ideas, or you're taking this on yourself, or you'd love to share your experience with this, I'd love for you to comment below and tell me how it went. How did you change it? How did you make it better? Was it as easy as it looked, or was it more difficult? So that's kind of what we're here to do, is take a few of these different events on. Now, if you've never done heat before, or you have an allergy to spice, I would say maybe be careful with this one. But if you're gonna try and keep up with me, the biggest thing you're gonna wanna worry about is the clock, because I'm trying to go as fast as possible in a lot of these, but I'm doing it in a unique way, because when you're eating spice, part of what makes it difficult is not having fluids or milk, because milk is one of the big ones. I would say since they're commercial off the shelf, most of these are gonna be available in your area. You can spin this, say, in a different quantity if you want, but I'm just gonna present it the way I'm doing it. We're gonna be taking on some Chester's hot fries, starting that timer and going start to finish, and the timer doesn't stop until that bag is completely gone. Now, I don't know if you've had these before, but I love them. The best part about this though is this, say, specific event only costs about $4.50. I found this bag at Sam's Club, so it's the bigger version. It's got 12 servings of 150 calories a piece. So we're gonna be taking this on today with no milk, but what we're gonna do is have it there available in case of emergency. I don't predict anything happening out of the ordinary other than trying to eat these dry fries. Now, you've probably already done this in the past. Sat on the sofa, put on your favorite Netflix series, popped open this bag and went to town on it. I know I've done that in the past. And so when it comes to dieting, one of the last things I'm gonna do is bring the bag with me to sit down on the sofa. I'm gonna measure out portions, try and keep some self-control, but that's not what today's about. It's about eating this whole bag. But if you're trying to diet, starting in the new year, you're trying to keep the calories down, probably best to keep this stuff out of the house. But in the event you do get suckered into it, just make sure to portion it out by size, use that food scale, have it in moderation. Don't eat a whole bag and try and make up the calories. That's a really hard way to do it. So if you want to take on this hot fries challenge or try something similar to it, it's not the calories that are going to get you probably, it's the amount of crunching and chewing, and it's something that's, got a lot of texture to it with that same flavor, kind of gets tiring. I would say what's most difficult is not having something to drink with it, because all that crunch and crunch and crunch and crunch chewing gets kind of old. And then you have to be very careful not to choke. So you have to chew the food. Because of that, you have to pace yourself. Now, just like in running, it's the same thing. You can't go so fast and maybe pull a muscle, so you gotta pace yourself. It's very similar to doing, like, in my opinion, or my experience, I've done a 5K where you can't, you gotta really take it easy. You can't just blow through it and try and go too fast, but you also gotta be aware that you're against the clock. So it's this happy medium, and that's exactly my strategy with this one. Actually, I think I've done a 5K around 20-something minutes or so. It takes endurance, and it takes, that patience and just finding a pace. So it's very similar in that sense. The clock goes fast when you're trying to race it. The best part about having that bowl is you can see it kind of slowly going down as you're going through it. Overall, would I recommend trying this one? Well, I guess that depends on where your ego's at. If you think you can beat 17 minutes and 10 seconds, difficulty of 2 on 5. So yes, not the fastest time you're gonna see out there, but for me, it wasn't that bad. I'm actually pretty happy that it was under 20 minutes. Now for this round, we're gonna be taking on all of these chips. No, there's no way that's happening. So I was really hoping to do the 2023 Pack-We One Chip Challenge, but unfortunately, there's been a reported death from a teenager somewhere. They pulled them from all the shelves and you can't get these chips anywhere. As a matter of fact, if you go look online, you can't even buy the older versions. So we're just gonna be hanging on to these. It's been coming to my attention that you can't even get these anymore. So I'm not sure whether to hold on to these for value or to take them on. It's a TBD sometime in the future. If you want to take one of these on, let me know. But for right now, you can't even buy these anywhere. So here we have a little speed round. Rules of straightforward, go as fast as you can. We're gonna be taking on 3 rounds, get 3 different goes at it. So this is allowed in this round just to help us get down a little bit faster. No milk, we're using soda. That way we don't choke. That way we don't get pieces stuck, because that's happened to me before. So here we go, 1, 2, 3. This is a intense nacho, so it's non-spicy. Yeah, flavor is very similar to Doritos. Okay, so this was a hot chili pepper and lime, the regular Takis. Blue heat, blue Takis, so guaranteed to turn your poo blue. $42.79, 40 seconds, 33.35. That's it, speed round, 3 goes. Soda allowed, it carbonates up. It's not like water or milk. It'll push it down. It kind of makes it a little bit of a challenge. So that's it, easy peasy, speed round, give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Just trying to go fast with sunflower seeds is really hard, especially when you're doing them in the mouth, no cheating, you know, just cracking them one by one. There's no fluids allowed in this one if you take this one on. No world records I'm setting here, so just have at it if it's something you're looking to do. But one of the biggest benefits of something like this is instead of snacking on the couch, you know, binging Netflix and movies and shows, this is a great substitute if you don't have a nut allergy. Instead of grabbing a bag of chips or hot fries or something like that, this is something I do in a diet hack. So as you're getting started with your diet this year, this is one to take into consideration. Yeah, just it keeps your mouth busy. So instead of eating all the calories, that was only 410 calories in 2 hours, which is really, really low. That was a lot harder than it looked. So there you have it, an official time of 2 hours, 2 minutes and 38 seconds. There were moments when I probably could have went a little bit faster. My mind got distracted. So probably could save 5 or 10 minutes if I really focus. Here for this round, we're gonna be doing it a little bit backwards. There's this cheap Costco kit that we're gonna get through super fast. And then we're gonna compare that. It was about 15 bucks to an actual real hot sauce that costed about 20 bucks after tax. There's gonna be no fluids on this one. And then we're gonna make a concoction out of the 10, slam that one down and compare it against this very hot sauce. So this one's definitely hot. So we got 5 minutes, no fluids, and just let that kind of build up and talk about the experience. This cheap Costco, kind of a knockoff of the hot ones in my opinion. I probably wouldn't spend that 15 bucks, even though this is $15 to get this many sauces. There are some really weird flavors going on. I definitely taste acidic flavors in some of these. Cayenne kind of burn. It's not that hot, but some of them had like a chemical kind of taste to it, which was very odd. The cool thing about these bottles that I really like is that they all have numbers on them. So it tells you what level you're on. So I think that's pretty neat. So overall, just the aesthetics of it are kind of catchy. As I went through each one, that, like I said, the chemical taste was really coming through. So I really wouldn't recommend this. You know, you get what you pay for. Assembled in China, product of the USA. I mean, that says a whole lot about this, you know. Well, this is gonna be straight. Bottoms up. How was the actual shot? Well, it's pretty disgusting. So if you're looking for something disgusting to do, I highly recommend this. I would say if you have a hard time with spicy food, this one's gonna be really rough. This stuff's a little scary. Reaper pepper mash, Trinidad scorpion pepper mash, apple cider vinegar, Jaluca pepper mash. All right, here we go. Let's try this. Yeah, I like that there's no extract in it. Not my favorite sauce, but I bet this would mix really well with some of the other things I use. Not a whole lot much more to say about this one other than let's get to the next event tomorrow. You could do it a different way. I would probably highly recommend doing the Hot Ones challenge if you can. Now here for the final event, you're gonna wanna get a big bag of Cheetos. This bag specifically is about 2,900 calories. I got a half a gallon of milk, and I got a number of bowls because this is gonna be a relay race. I had to go get 3 volunteers to come help me on this. Alex.
Yes, Coach.
Can you please finish these final cuts and editing for me? I'm exhausted.
It would be my pleasure. First up for this relay race is a volunteer we found at a science expo. He didn't provide a name, so one was provided for him, Dorcas Malorcas. He only agreed to participate if it was going to be absolutely safe. Well, since hot Cheetos and milk obviously go together, he was assured there would be no ill effects. Not much else to say about this character. Second up was super cool. He was able to utilize a different technique by smashing the Cheetos into smaller pieces to get them down faster. We found this volunteer trolling at a local gym. When asked about his favorite quote, he said,
"Sun's out, guns out."
His strategy wasn't as cool as his shades. Up third is a weird fellow we stumbled across doing push-ups in a parking lot. When asked about volunteering for a food competition, his response was, "I eat pieces of poop like you for breakfast." We didn't know how to respond other than to offer him a slot. Last up to the plate is the hometown hero, Coach. He observed that each of his teammates had different strengths, so he decided it would be best to try and combine them together to speed things up. This Rondo team wasn't an ideal combination. With a final combined time of 18 minutes and 15 seconds, perhaps your personally selected team could show this foursome how to do it faster. After a swifty individual time of 3 minutes and 3 seconds, not all crazy ideas are terrible. Until the next one, peace out.